It's Friday night in the A, and you know what that means. Kelly Price and Tori McElhaney coming at you on Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
It's Christmas Eve. Clearly, Tori and I are very excited about Christmas, obviously.
I mean, we're wearing matching Christmas sweaters, so, I mean, I don't know. Our level of excitement is pretty high.
You didn't plan this at all, so.
We just showed up.
We just showed up like this, so it's pretty cool. All right, this is obviously our Christmas episode of Rise Up Tonight, and keeping with the holiday spirit, we're playing Santa. It's time to see who is naughty and nice on this Falcons team. Let's huddle up holiday style.
Let's huddle up with Kelly and Tori on the world of Falcons football.
Okay, so in full transparency, we didn't want to be total Grinches and kick the Falcons while they're down. So for the naughty list, we're going to go with two overarching themes here. The first, turnovers, easily top of the naughty list. The Falcons committed 2 turnovers in their final 2 drives in Sunday's loss. Desmond Ridder alone has thrown 10 interceptions and has been credited for 11 fumbles. 6 of those were in the red zone. Ridder's 16 turnovers tied for 5th most in the NFL, and the Falcons are among the bottom third of the NFL with a -6 turnover margin. So yeah, y'all get cold for that one, guys.
Yeah, you can't tell the story of the 2023 Atlanta Falcons without talking about turnovers. The loss to Carolina was a microcosm of that relatively naughty trend because the Falcons only had 3 possessions in the second half last Sunday, and like what Kelly said, they turned the ball over in 2 of the 3. More often than not, if you lose the turnover battle, you lose the game. But what extrapolates this trend for the Falcons is the fact that the offense is turning the ball over while simultaneously not scoring in drives where they don't give the ball up. It makes the margin of error so small.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Number 2 on the naughty list, hypotheticals. If I hear if the Falcons win X games, this team loses, A team beats B team, I am gonna go angry elf. I am tired of talking about hypothetical situations. I'm also tired of talking about how the Falcons didn't meet expectations this season. They are what they are at this point, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And look, this is not a new situation for the Falcons. This time last year, and maybe even the year before, we were having the exact same conversation saying, oh, if, but then maybe this year wasn't supposed to be a year of maybes. And I think that's why these hypotheticals and expectations not met are so difficult to talk about at this time of year.
Right. All right, to the nice list. Y'all already know who's at the top of this one. JB3. This man has been worth every penny the Falcons spent on him, and that was a lot of pennies. Put him in the Pro Bowl already. But Santa leaving a real nice present under the Bates tree this week because he's been a gift to the Falcons all season. You can scan this QR code now to vote for him in the Pro Bowl because he had 3 forced fumbles, 5 picks, 111 tackles. By the way, all those career highs for the 6-year pro, and 3 more games still to go.
Oh my gosh, I was talking to a few guys in the locker room recently, mainly Calais Campbell, and he made such a good point about Jesse Bates. He said this is a guy he wanted to play with, craves it even. This is a guy who, when the Falcons need someone to make a play, he makes it. Bates is the undisputed leader of this defensive unit, and you have to give credit where credit is due. He's made things happen this year, and you absolutely cannot overlook him.
Second on the nice list, let's go with defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen. He transformed a defense that ranked towards the bottom of the league last year in pretty much every category into one that's been top 10, top 5 at times in 2023. And credit this front office with bringing in some solid starters. Caden Ellis, David Onyemata, Bud Dupree. Don't forget the depth pieces like Nate Landman, more recently Clark Phillips. All these guys are making my nice list, but it goes all the way to the top with the DC and putting them in the right positions to really succeed all year.
Yeah, and I'll give a shout out to Jerry Gray, too, for the work he's done with the secondary as well. This defense, I mean, let's talk about it. This year, they've been so fun to watch. And when was the last time that you could say that in Atlanta, truly? Yeah. I mean, you saw the defense trending in the right direction late last year, so it has been a breath of fresh air to see them show up in 2023 the way they have. Heck, they've kept 3 opponents out of the end zone this year. That's a crazy stat in and of itself in the modern NFL.
Right, 3 of the last 5, no touchdowns allowed. Tori and I are making our Christmas fashion statements, obviously, but now it's time to show you the Falcons from last week. We are walking in, presented by Wells Fargo.
What are you wearing today?
Snoopy.
It is giving Paddington Bear in all the best ways,
Yes.
Lorenzo. Also love this because my favorite Christmas songs are all from A Charlie Brown Christmas. The Vince Guaraldi trio did not need to go that hard, but they did, Tori.
Also, this is a fashionable and practical look because,
Right.
y'all, I was in Charlotte this Sunday and it was downright gross conditions.
Yeah, rain jackets definitely needed for that one. All right, Kadero Hodge saw last week's monochrome moment by Michael Pruitt and said, bet. Nothing boring about this beige look. In fact, so much visual interest going on here. The furry jacket collar, the pattern, the fuzzy turtleneck, lots of textures to work with this palette, all topped off with his signature retro shades. I think he has these in like 20 colors for every outfit.
Has to. The king of the walking-in segment, Kadero Hodge, makes his triumphant return. A Christmas miracle indeed. And what a cool Christmas it is. I mean, this is a cool fit.
Yes, it is. All right, finally, the three specialists have also been on the nice list, but we've also been waiting to sneak this one in on Falcons fits for a couple of weeks here. Liam McCullough clearly has a favorite travel outfit. I don't know if he's doing this to make a statement or he's doing this even on purpose, but I truly love seeing this Cracker Barrel hoodie every week.
Shout out Cracker Barrel. We love you. Iconic. I have no notes. This may be my favorite fit of the year. I actually told Kelly she had to keep this one. We weren't giving it up.
He got the pullover memo for sure.
Yeah.
All right, the best present the Falcons can give you and their head coach is a win this week. But if they had to wrap something up for Arthur Smith, what would it be? We're asking the Dirty Birds what they would gift their head coach in the question of the week.
If you had to get Coach Arthur Smith a gift for Christmas, what would you get him?
I don't know, man. You got me on that one.
I don't think it's gonna be appropriate for the camera.
I think I got him some bourbon last year or something, so maybe that. Different options within the same categories.
Because I do got a good idea in mind, but
You know, you gotta give him like a chain so he can have that bling bling on his neck.
I get him a little mini comb for his new mustache.
Boy, we don't even have to get him a chain. When everybody go for game day, we gotta put all chains on his neck, and he's just gonna only coach drip.
All right, let's set it up.
Yeah.
You let us know we'll be there.
Shining with game day.
but let's keep it under wraps. I don't even want to spoil it because I got something for him.
Okay, now I'm curious what Richie has, but AK, I like where his head's at. Get like some Kirko chains action going for
Right.
Arthur Smith. I think that would be funny.
You know, whatever. I don't even know why. I was just sitting here why? That makes no sense at all to me.
Hey, if it takes that to get a win, then I think he would do it.
mean,
All right,
yeah.
the Falcons season may be in its back nine, but the Hawks are just heating up. We welcome Atlanta Hawk Onyeka Okongwu in the nest later in the show.
And let's keep the holiday cheer going. Some current players and Falcons legends visited Children's Healthcare of Atlanta this week to spread some good holiday vibes. That story is coming up next on Rise Up Tonight.
Rise Up Tonight is presented by AT&T and brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And Truist, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bang. It's time to Rise Up Atlanta. Kelly and Tori are back on your home for Falcons football. Fox 5 Atlanta.
With the holiday season in full swing, some Falcons chose to give back this week by taking a visit to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, Eggleston. Our Georgia Chambers reports as we rise up for Atlanta, brought to you by Truist.
Santa Claus and his not-so-little helpers visited Children's Healthcare of Atlanta to spread some holiday cheer, delivering gifts, spending time with families, and can't forget caroling.
It's still around day of holiday time spirit, and it's an emotional time for some people, but just trying to give any type of way of holiday spirit to lift people up and raise any type of awareness and things like that is good on our behalf.
Terrell says the Falcons take pride in giving back to the community, especially during this time of year. He leaves the children with this piece of advice.
Be thankful, love your life, live your life, and just be mindful that there's a lot of things going on out in the world, and just continue holding your head high and just keep chasing your dream.
Georgia Chambers, Rise Up Tonight.
I love to see that because
I do
sometimes
too.
it's good to remember it's more than just wins and losses. Sometimes it's more important what you do in the community. All right, well, what a difference 8 days makes. Speaking of wins and losses, in that span, the Falcons have gone from the top of the division with a chance to really create separation in that race to 2 losses later, a team with an 11% chance now to make the postseason. And Tori, in your notebook that you wrote this week, you talked about how you can't talk about expectations without talking about reality here.
Right, exactly. And the reality is that if the Falcons go 1-2 in the next 3 weeks, they will have a 7-10 record to end the season for the 3rd consecutive year. A 7-10 record in the last 2 years, understandable, maybe even welcomed considering the salary cap constraints facing this team. But in 2023, a 7-10 season is frustrating and disappointing because of the expectations set on this team prior to the season. At this point, though, it could be the reality if the Falcons don't beat a combination of the Colts, Bears, and Saints.
And that's a totally doable thing for this team. All right, the weather outside is frightful, but our takes are so delightful. Stay tuned for another week of hot takes still to come.
Plus, an Atlanta Hawk who goes way back with Drake London goes in the nest tonight. That's coming up next on Rise Up Tonight.
It's almost game time, Falcons fans. When the Falcons sack the opposing QB at home, you'll score a BOGO free Big Zack snack meal the day after the game. Valid online only at Atlanta area stores. Welcome back to Rise Up Tonight. Let's head in the nest with Kelly, Tori, and this week's special guest, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
Really excited to welcome in the nest Onyeka Okongwu of the Atlanta Hawks on this show. How do you guys feel like you guys are doing this season? How are things kind of going? I know you're a couple kind of games in here.
Definitely, going out to a little rough start, a little bit lost more than we've won, but still early in the year, and we're still confident that we can turn this around.
Tell us something about this team that Atlanta sports fans might not know about yet. Maybe something, that you've maybe learned about this team that's different than the ones you've been on in the past here.
I feel like this roster is so talented from, top to bottom. Obviously we got, Trey, DeJounte, Dre, all the starters, our second unit too. Very, talented. Some dudes are better than, some dudes are better than what people actually think, I'm talking about like the end of the bench, you feel me? Kind of 1 to 15, we're all solid.
Bench mob has been going crazy. I mean, Bogey, you, all you
bench
guys.
Mob, the bench mob. Honestly, I didn't know people even knew that that's what we call ourselves, the bench mob.
Well, that was something last year, right? You guys called yourself bench mob last year too.
Lou Will started it my second year because it was me, Gallinari, Bogey, DeLong, Kevin Herter. We were very, very deep.
Yeah. And that's continued this year. I mean, and do you feel like, not to toot your own horn, but that's a big part of y'all's success this year is, you guys coming off the bench and bringing that spark?
Definitely. We got some guys banged up right now, JJ, Bogey, but, full strength, first unit and second unit, we can go up against anybody.
So one of the biggest reasons we wanted you on our Falcons show is because you went to USC with Drake London. Obviously, he's a big part of what the Falcons are doing. He had a career day a couple weeks ago. Do you guys get to catch up much? Or, what's kind of your relationship with you guys playing in a new city with new different teams?
When he first got drafted last year, I was so happy for him. Because one, comes from a great family, loving family. He played basketball at USC with me, so I know his mom and dad. So when he got drafted to Atlanta, man, I was so happy for him. And I just, I'm rooting for the Falcons. They're one of my favorite teams, solely because of him. They lost a heartbreaker the other day to the Panthers. So I've been trying to come to one of these games, but my schedule conflict has been tough. But hopefully they can, went out so they can go to the playoffs.
Let's go back to that relationship a little bit. So when he was drafted, were you one of the first people to be like, hey man, welcome to Atlanta? I guess, what was the timeline with that?
I texted him before he got drafted because, when I got drafted, my phone was blown up that whole day. So I texted him, being proud to him getting drafted, good luck, love you bro, all that. And I know where he was going. And when I found out he was in the same city as me, it's just that's dope. That was real dope, going from LA to Atlanta, me and him going through the same thing, young athletes trying to, make it in there on our respective teams. So he's doing pretty well.
What's something that you feel like Atlanta doesn't know about Drake London yet?
Man, good question. What can I say about my boy Drizzy? I mean, look, I probably already knew this man, but he can jump. At USC, I think he had like the most bounce on the team. You have players like me. We had another track star who was up really high, but he was probably our best athlete on that team. Really on the whole campus, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him climb the ladder for a couple crazy catches this year already. What's your favorite Drake London memory or story from USC?
One does come to mind, but I can't tell that story.
That always is the case.
always the case, Drake's a good guy. Good guy. I know a lot of stories of Drake, but, say that for another day.
So we know that obviously Drake has the basketball background. Do you have a football background? Did you play like football growing up or anything like that?
No, I wasn't. My mom wasn't really fond of football. Football's my favorite thing to watch right now, though. I love football. I love, playing fantasy football. It really gets me into, watching the game. But when I was younger, I was playing tennis a lot. That's the only other sport I really played.
Oh, really? Okay, I grew up playing tennis, so that's a good sport. You mentioned, trying to keep up with the Falcons as much as you can. Obviously, your schedule is crazy and everything. But how much do you get to watch that? Maybe even before you guys get into your full season. Do you watch a lot of football? Are you a big football fan?
I love football. I've grown to love football over the years. I'm a Rams fan first. But, I've been trying to root for the Falcons because of Drake. And I have NFL Red Zone, so we're not playing, and I have time to, watch football. Falcons are always playing at 1 o'clock every day. They actually are very unfortunate because they haven't had a single NFL primetime game all year, which is crazy because they're getting ready for the Panthers and Bears before them. But, they're on every Sunday, 1 o'clock. Try and watch my boy Drake do his thing.
We hear all the time from players of the Falcons how much it means them to play in Atlanta, a lot of them from here and everything. What does it mean to you to play in Atlanta?
The fans are pretty good. The fans, they root hard for their team, whether it be us, the United team, the Braves, even though the Braves are really, really, really good, it's always a good turnout. Last night when we played Detroit, struggling with Detroit Pistons, felt like it was a sold-out crowd. Like, the seats were all filled up. It's just good to see, Atlanta show love and support for their teams.
Looking kind of in this season for you, what are you kind of working on right now as far as this season? Is there an area of growth that you're trying to really take that next step in?
Usually that's for, the summertime. But I just try to replenish my skills. Try and just get my reps in just to, stay fresh and be ready for the games.
Well, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Good luck in this on this little road trip here. Thanks for joining us. For anyone who wants to catch a full conversation, head to fox5atlanta.com. We'll post it on there, and we'll be right back on Rise Up Tonight.
Hey Atlanta, this is Head Crack talking, and you watching Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T. Inspired by Arthur Smith's love for narratives, this Kelly and Tori's Hot Takes.
And it was a tough week for our narratives last week. No turnovers except by the Falcons' run game, just 52 yards. Do I just burn the run the dang ball hats after that?
No, Kelly, that's not the answer because I wear that hat way too much to burn it.
That's right. We need to keep them around. All right, I know what Falcons fans have at the top of their list this week. A win. As we've discussed, none of us thought this game was going to be much of a conversation going into the season, but now for the Falcons, having lost 5 of their last 7, it may take a Christmas miracle on Sunday. But as Josh Groban's saying in the Christmas Classic Polar Express, you have everything you need if you just believe. And I believe this team is capable of so much more, and they have everything they need. So what we need to see is a win.
It's like in the Polar Express when you can only hear the bell when you believe. And you know what? I'm going to try to hear the bells of the Taylor Heineke train. He's QB1 in Atlanta right now. And my hot take is that we see a little moxie from the former backup. The Falcons are 0-2 with Heineke at the helm this year, but maybe, just maybe, if we believe, they get that first win with Heineke.
We've got the belief. We've got the Christmas sweaters. We're ready to go. All right, thanks for staying up late with us on Rise Up Tonight. For Tori McElhaney, I'm Kelly Price. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a great night.